Come on, Bon. Hey there, Bonnie. I am in the car right now because I'm about to head out on a trip to Canada. Let's go! So I am in Maine currently at a park where I am currently the only one parked here. The trail is about 0.2 miles long. I thought I was going to have a longer walk today, but I guess not. So I've done most of my driving for today, and I'm up near Bangor in Maine. I'm at Sunk Hayes Meadows National Wildlife Refuge. I found the online materials to be very helpful in finding the trailheads. Now I'm going to try and go to a different trailhead before the sun sets, maybe. So I've arrived at the next trailhead. It's not that far, but it's all dirt roads. These are the main roads in this town. They're all dirt. This is a place that gets snow. How do they... I don't... Anyways, I'm gonna go walking for a little bit now. I finished my hike. I went to a little beaver dam on a frozen lake. It was very lovely. I'm tired and head over to Bangor, Maine. See if I can find something warm to eat and drink. So last night I stayed in Maine, in a little town called Hampton. I went to bed at like 10. I woke up at 9. On the road now. Stayed at this little cabin, very far into the woods. One thing that I remind myself that I learn when I stay somewhere that has a lifestyle that's vastly different than mine is how, unimportant many of my stresses are. The people that I stayed with just have such a quiet lifestyle, and they have very minimal concerns. One of the people I stayed with has a job at a gas station, and she loves it, and, is content and happy. So I guess it just puts into perspective the concerns in my life. Anyways, I'm headed up to Canada today. I'm gonna stop along the way and do a hike, and then up to St. John, Canada. So I've made it to Moosehead Park, which I'd imagine is much nicer in the summertime. But look at this. It is about 40 degrees and raining. If it were much colder, it would be snowing. So I probably won't go on a very long hike. There's like a nice little driving tour, which is why my car is right here. And this is where I'm gonna have my lunch.
Hi, bonjour.
Hi.
Where do you live?
Boston, Massachusetts.
And where are you going?
I'm heading to Nova Scotia.
What's your trip?
I'm just gonna travel for a few days.
What do you do for work?
I'm a mechanical engineer.
Do you have any alcohol, tobacco,
No.
pepper spray, mace, tasers, or guns?
No.
Weapons? Any gifts or goods that'll stay in the country?
No.
Nothing. It'll all go back with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. I am now in Canada, in a place called St. John, and the Airbnb I'm staying at has 2 kitties. This is one of them, and this one over here sitting in the dark. It's very friendly. One just wants scratches. Oh, that was very cute. Oh. The sun is setting, but I'm gonna walk around the town of St. John for a little bit, I think. Oh, hi. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like, anyone can do that.
It's very windy today. I'm at the National Park. Oh, it's cold. I'm rethinking a hike today. It's so windy. So I just went on a very long hike, about 6.5 kilometers, 2.5 hours. I walked up through the forest and down to the ocean. It felt really good to walk that long distance. I didn't see a single person, and it was kind of nice just to be with myself and my thoughts. I'm tired now. I'm gonna drive up to Dartmouth and sleep. Hey there! I stayed in Dartmouth last night and then I drove up to the Halifax Citadel, which was really cool. I didn't really know what a citadel was, but it's basically like a barracks. It was really cool and very empty because it's cold today. It's like 37 Fahrenheit, but sunny. We are going to fire our noon signal gun at noon, and this is a long-standing tradition in Halifax. It has been done ever since the fort was first built in 1749. Except for one occasion, there is a record of the gun crew not showing up, but no reason why. And Christmas Day, because the British military had Christmas Day off. It was their only day off, and we like to keep that tradition going. So the weapon we're firing is a 12-pound smoothbore muzzle-loading shotgun, and it's a very tiny gun, even in our time period that we represent, which is 1869. So it was only ever used as a signal gun because it wouldn't leave much of a dent in anything. 12 pounds is the size of the cannonball you'd be firing. And to fire that, you would need 1/3 of that weight in black powder. So we'd put 4 pounds of black powder in. But because it's a signal gun, you'd usually only just use the 4 pounds of black powder. We used to use 2 pounds of black powder, but today we only fire 1 pound of black powder because it used to set off car alarms in the downtown area and, you know, crack windows, and they thought that was pretty excessive. Yeah. And you can still get a pretty good bang with just 1 pound. So it will be quite loud. I drove down to Peggy's Cove. It's this very cute little fishing town. Very small. Kind of reminds me of Cape Cod, to be honest. So I'm gonna head up to Moncton now because I want to try to catch the tide change, and the low tide is at 6 in the morning tomorrow. I'm gonna try to sleep early and get up and see both the low tide and the high tide. We'll see how that goes. Canada doesn't feel much different to the US. Everyone's really friendly though. I have noticed that. People are slightly more thoughtful than like your typical American would be. So I'm at the Hopewell Rocks, which is closed down for the season, and so none of the like touristy stuff is open. The cafe is closed. This like sea kayaking little hut is closed. There's signs everywhere. It's like, danger! High rising tides. Listen, I looked all that stuff up ahead of time. I'm not gonna get caught in the tides. High tide isn't for like 4 hours. 4 hours. I just want to walk around for 30 minutes. I literally can't walk down because it's the off season. What's great about it is that there's no one here. I think I'm gonna try anyways to go see it. I just wish I could explore things in the off season. Alright, so I've made my way down to the beach. We won't talk about how that happened. And it's really cool. I think it's worth coming down. These rocks are beautiful. This place is so cool. The way that the water has eaten away at these rocks from the underside. One of the things that surprised me the most is how rocky this beach is. I mean, there's a lot of sand and stuff, but all these sections that look like little bits of sand and mud are actually just rocks. It's so strange. I don't think it's really captured on camera very well. I'm walking back now to safety. Don't worry, I'm safe, I'm fine. So it's just about high tide, and I went back to see the rocks immersed in water, and it's surprising. I understand rationally how it all works. The moon and the sun, to a lesser extent, pull the water and the earth in a way such that the tides happen. And the Bay of Fundy funnels that in so that it's really massive here. I think subconsciously I imagine the places that I was walking on to be like just regular beaches. You know, even though I knew that it was all gonna be covered. But it's not like a normal tide. It just fills up and covers everything. It's just amazing to see it. It takes your understanding of the world to a whole new level. It's very cool. Alright, I'm gonna grab lunch and then drive to my next destination. Editing Monica here. For some reason, after this, I decided to stop taking footage of explaining what was going on. So from here, I drove down to St. Stephen, which is a small town just over the border in Canada. I was pretty exhausted, so I didn't do much the rest of the day. And then the next day I crossed back into the United States.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing? Where you from?
Massachusetts.
What town?
Boston.
Where you been?
Nova Scotia.
What you been doing out there?
Just traveling.
You a student still? Are you working or what?
I'm working full time, just took a week to travel.
You working where?
I'm working full time and
Okay.
just, yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a mechanical engineer.
You work right in the city?
In Cambridge, but yeah.
How long were you in Canada?
4 days? Maybe 5? 4 days.
It was all pleasure, you said?
Yeah.
Visiting one?
No.
No friends, family? Set up with?
No.
Where are you coming back with That you didn't take with you, I guess.
I have some saltwater taffy.
Any alcohol, tobacco, anything like that?
No.
Is this your car?
Yes.
How'd you find this little bridge? You normally use this bridge, or?
I stayed in St. Stephen last
Yeah.
night, so it's most
Alright,
convenient.
welcome back.
Alright, thank you.
Yep, see you.
Have a good one. Immediately, there's tons of American flags. And from there, I went down to Portland, Maine for the day. Again, I didn't film very much, but I just sort of walked around the town a little bit, had some dinner, called it a night, and then the next day I drove back home. Overall, I had a really lovely trip. I would definitely recommend going to Canada, though I would probably suggest going when it's warm, because that's when all of the fun activities are. Anyway, Bonnie, that's all I have for you this week. I hope you're having a lovely week, and I'll see you next time.
Miracle below me and live.
Chapter 15. Murder.